Starting recording now. Uh-oh. Could someone get Minnie back up? Oh, no feathers down there.
Come on. Oh. I don't worry. I got this. Let me just fix that.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to get started. Everyone go ahead and take a seat. And remember to take off any armor, tools, weapons, elytras. Alright, we're good. Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming to the first Solacean law discussion meeting. This is going to be one of 3 meetings, and it will be official and but not super serious. Well, it is serious, but this is an open conversation for everyone to be involved in, as we are all part of this planet. Normally, the Keepers of Solace have kept out of, laws and other factions' business, but considering a lot of the things that have gone on this era, Lux has been very good in making a list of laws that we can, or rather, a proposal of laws that we can use to help in anything in this judicial court. For example, currently we have violence down in our holding cells, and we need to have a law to actually convict him. So, and for people like Okal, Eclipse, anyone else that we may encounter. So how this is going to work is I'll read through Article 1 and 2. We're going to go piece by piece. Article 1 has A through I sections, and Article 2 has A through F sections. And we'll go one piece at a time. If you have something to say on the matter of the article sections, you can come take a seat over on the benches over there. And one by one, you can come up and speak. Anyone who's on the benches over here is able to give their opinion and everything. And if you change your mind, you can come and line up as well partway through. Everyone will be given 2 minutes of time to speak up here. And if anyone has questions after they are done with their initial part of speaking, you can ask questions to clarify and everything. But I will try to limit that to around 5 minutes, just so we don't go overboard with that. Does anyone have any questions or anything like that? No? Okay. First, I will read the preamble. And out of character here, if any of you want to look at the document that I'm looking at, is in SMP Announcements. It's called The Proposal. Okay. Preamble. The interfactional or global law of Solace draws inspiration from the Soul Pact Union and covers interfactional norms of behavior. A limited set of rights shall be considered preemptory norms, such as prohibitions on murder, torture, and limits of personhood. Global law is founded on the values of freedom, dignity, and respect for all individuals. The law shall maintain international peace and security, including the prevention and removal of threats to the peace and the suppression of acts of aggression. A dualistic approach shall allow individual factions to recognize their own legal system as separate from interfactional law. A faction's legal laws apply only within the faction and cannot be used against individuals of other factions or independent parties. The global law shall promote economic and social cohesion and solidarity among the factions. Each faction will be treated as a distinct identity, allowing for local self-government. Does anyone feel the need to discuss any part of this preamble? No? All right, we'll move on to the articles then. And again, thank you to Lux for putting this together. This is really great. Article 1, Fundamental Rights. Section A. Life shall be respected and protected. Every individual has the right to life, and no one shall be condemned to execution. If any of you have something to say about this, whether that be additions, clarifications, general discussion, you may take a seat up here, and we will proceed left to right. So furthest from the door up to closest to the door. Is that everyone? Nixie, would you come take a seat, and I will observe from here.
So about the not harming anything, does that also include pets?
That's something to discuss. Should we and when there's questions asked, I'm sure we can all just have an open discussion here. Yeah, does when we are talking about life shall be respected and protected, right to life, are we also talking about pets, animals that are a part of this? Does anyone over here have something to say about that?
May I speak?
Of course.
So anything could technically be considered a pet, right? Like, you could technically take a cow and say it's a pet. I feel like if we were to include pets in that, there would have to be some discrimination between what counts as a pet. But
That's
I
a very
feel
good
like
point.
that is minor, considering I believe the law is more so talking overall about the execution of the citizens of Solace.
Does anyone else have anything else to add on this? And we can take a vote, perhaps.
I think I have something that kind of pertains to this.
Go ahead.
I think the main thing is what qualifies as an individual. Does it have to be sapient life? Is it just anything that has life? Where's the boundary on that?
That is a good point. Considering that this, the rights are based or draw inspiration from the Soul Pack Union, would probably be anything that, any sentient life, whether that be, human, android, otherwise, Anathi, any living, intelligent life on Solace. But let's take a vote, and out of character. Oh, go ahead.
What is condemnation to execution? Like, in a trial, they can't be sentenced to death, or?
So considering we can talk about the way that, for example, Ogle proceeded with Balios and execution. We don't want situations like that. We want everyone to have, a right to go through the court system here. And I mean, I don't think we execute people in the Keepers of Solace, right? I hope not.
So death penalty is not, in the tables?
Not
in
for the
cards?
Keepers of Solace, no.
Okay.
So let's, an out of character here, we're going to do votes in the chat so that I can see everything. When I say to agree to something, you can type the letter I, like you're saying I, A-Y-E, but type the letter I, and then if you disagree, you can just type the letter N for nay or no. So all in favor, and doesn't have to be just the people over here, it can be everyone in the court. All in favor of, what was the first one? It was pets. All in favor of adding pets to the respected and right to life part of the Article 1-A, type I, and all against
Wait.
type N. You have something else to add?
Yeah. I know in previous civilizations and whatnot, they had such rules as if a creature, even if it is a pet, causes harm to a person without reason or kills a person without viable reason, then that creature would be put to death. Would that thus not apply to this, or how would that fit? Because if we're including it, how would that work? Also, what about pounds? Would they be able to put down a animal?
I mean, that's
To
something we
what
have to
extent
discuss.
would it be considered execution?
I know that in some places, what you're saying is very true. There's, uh, you know, pets like dogs being put down if they attack someone, but I mean, maybe on Solace, that's something that we all feel strongly about in the other way. That's what this vote is about. So we'll hold the vote again since we have another addition here. All in favor of adding pets, as in pets will be included in life shall be respected and protected. Every individual or every pet has the right to life and none shall be condemned to execution. Type say aye, and all against that say nay. All right, it looks close, but I believe the ayes have it. I will. Can someone take notes for me? Because I have like three. I have my phone open and my iPad open and my computer, doing different things.
You have a stenographer in the court.
Yeah. Does anyone want to be the like court note keeper? You can if you get a book and quill. I can give you a book and quill if you'd like. Doesn't have to be
I think
too
I had
fancy.
one
Just
more at the back of my page.
you're simultaneously playing Sea of Thieves. That's kind of funny.
What we could also do is like not write the notes
I'm
currently, but
recording it,
just
that's
have
true.
someone, yeah, rewatch the recording and jot down notes.
That's true. That's true. Okay. I will be putting this on the YouTube channel. Okay. Back into character here. All right. That is passed. Anything else you'd like to add, Mixie?
You know about that big white building with the, what I assume to be the, like, electric chair, is it?
Oh, the event
With
hall?
Yeah, is that an electric chair or just a weirdly shaped chair in there? I'm not entirely sure.
That is the event hall has been closed. We need to have that whole contraption removed. That's not a part of the Keepers of
Yeah, that
Solace's
was my next
plan.
question.
Because that area was still under investigation, it was left there, but it needs to be removed at this point. Is that all?
Yeah.
Thank you. Truffle. Your time starts now.
I know this may sound a little dumb, but when you say no one will be condemned to death, do you truly mean no one?
Yes. I believe that's what
What
the
about Eclipse?
Eclipse
has killed people in the past, plans to kill more, and has injured tons more.
This discussion isn't about what Eclipse deserves or doesn't deserve. If someone ends up killing Eclipse, I think she might be an exception. But if she goes through the court system here on Solace, most likely she would not be executed, sentenced to death. She would be held or given probably to the Soul Pack's Navy.
I see.
Light.
I'm going to add on to what Truffle said about the whole not condemning anyone to death thing. But on that note, I do believe there should be exceptions. Like, if the crime warrants such a punishment, it should be done.
Does anyone in the section over here, or over here, have anything to add on to this? Discuss?
I would like to add one.
Yes, Lex.
Sorry.
Sorry. So one important thing to remember is Article 1 is based on global rights, so it's mostly reflecting what vaccines cannot do. They cannot say that their closer allows them to kill people, with no trial. And, farther down the list, all these things are basic rights and under the cultural values some closer may have.
Thank you. Was that Rando? Did you need something to say?
I was going to discuss, since we are broaching the topic of giving the government basically the ability to sentence someone to death, does this system, does this government, in similar to other governments, have the innocent until proven guilty clause, I guess? I don't know how to phrase that, or what that is.
We might get to that later on.
Okay.
That might be in
I
Article
believe
6.
that would be covered in, court section.
Okay.
So your question, Light, was regarding whether or not there should be exceptions for certain people with regarding like death penalty.
Yes.
Now, Lux would, considering that this is global law, would factions, which we will get to that in Article 2, would faction law, if a faction had their court system with regarding death penalty different from the global policy, would that override it?
Yeah, so vaccines cannot choose to execute anyone. If we wanted to change it to specifically be that the global law could do that, we could, but that wouldn't apply to Article 1. That would be more likely in Article 6.
I see. So I suppose this might be something to discuss in Article 6 regarding the court's power. And considering this section is just about fundamental rights for everyone on Solace, this is probably just meaning no one should be executed, such as Belios was. And don't get me wrong, my personal beliefs on, Eclipse, if someone found her and killed her without a trial. I don't think any of us would be particularly upset about that. But I know the Keepers of Solace, don't want something like Balios to happen again.
I understand that one.
Rando.
My main thing is will certain vague words within this get more definite just descriptions or meanings given out by Solace for what Solace believes, how Solace interprets them, like the individual, what counts as an execution, and so on and so forth. Like, this doesn't have to be a current thing, but at some point, those are fairly vague terms.
I understand, and that's part of what this meeting is about. If it seems too vague, we can discuss how to reword it to seem more, like you said, definitive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if we are including pets, which, from what the vote said, we are, how does putting down or euthanizing an animal fit into this? Would that be considered an execution, and thus the animal would have to slowly go through the process, like if they're old, or if an animal is extremely violent and cannot be just held in a safe way? How would that work?
Considering that most animals cannot, or pets, I suppose, cannot speak for themselves in a court, that might be a little difficult. But what this is, and we'll go over that in Article 6, but I think what this is talking about is with the vote that we made, individuals also include animals, and they have the right to life and will not be executed. That seems to be something that is agreed throughout the court.
Does that also apply to like farm animals who are to be butchered for food?
That's a good question.
Do they qualify as pets?
Yeah. What determines whether an animal is a pet or, cattle?
Mm-hmm. It's just food for thought. This can be described later on if need be, since usually that's something that needs to be decided upon by the judges and whatnot.
Well, I think also we'll probably the court will probably, or the judicial branch will probably come out with a updated version of these rights, and we can discuss them at the beginning of the next meeting for Article 1 and Article 2.
Yeah, this was just, I was just bringing something up to be updated, not
Right.
really saying it needs to be decided upon currently.
I agree. We are having maybe a reference or definitions part of like what defines an individual, what defines, I guess, an execution would be good. Sunny, do you have something you want to add?
Yeah. Are we all going to get in trouble now if we happen to step on all the scarabs?
That you might have to bring up with Magos.
Cause like, he acts like they're babies, and it's scary, and they're bugs.
They are alive in a way.
Do they count as pets?
Yeah, I remember their.
Are we in trouble if we happen to see and stomp on them?
I wouldn't recommend, considering that is, if they're not pets, they are Magos's property.
They're bugs. So can we not step on any bugs?
I don't think, considering unless someone has claimed the bug as their pet, which would maybe count as property at that point. Yeah, stepping on an ant outside is not going to get you in trouble, Sonny.
My mom was a bug.
Oh,
I don't think we should step on those. But if they look like that and they're made of metal, I don't think that those count as real bugs, and it kind of makes me sad because my mom was a real bug and maggots bugs aren't real bugs, and they're kind of scary, and I think that we should be able to stomp on them, but I feel like he's gonna get everyone in trouble because they're so not seeable and they're everywhere.
I think Magos' scarabs probably count as pets, or at least his property. So please don't try not to step on them, Sonny.
They shouldn't count. They're not real.
Even if they're not real, they're someone's property.
Have you seen them?
Cam,
They're real to me.
can you take care of your child?
Come here, Sonny.
They're not real.
Come with me. Take your armor off.
I can't. It's binding.
Why did you put on cursed armor? Oh, come here.
I'll see. Where's the binding armor? There it is. Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to take my laughter out of that.
Yo.
Are you genuinely okay, Lemon?
Oh, I don't know why, but I am crying over
Oh my
this.
god, getting into the role. Let me know if you need us to take a break. Method acting. No, role playing like this, you can really get into the role. I get it. Virgil ran a very intense RPG session yesterday that ended in a few of us crying, so I get it.
Or shouldn't count as real thing.
You cried when Belios died. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, we're gonna move on now. Back into character. That was funny. Minnie.
Alright. So, since we're adding pets to Article 1, Section A, should they be counted as different beings when it comes to committing a crime from their owner? Even if their owner is the one that set them on the path to do it, or gave them the command?
That is a good question. Thoughts, everyone? Considering that we've voted for pets to count as an individual, I think that... but this is specifically for this, this one section. So that might be in the Article 6 with the court sections? Because fundamental rights is going to be different. This is specifically regarding the right to life and execution. So I think that would probably be counted in Article 6 once we get there.
Just roll back to that Article 6, alright. Good with that.
Mixie, you have one last thing to say before we move on?
Yep. so let's say there was somebody in the hospital, comatose, and they were just pretty much waste materials, and it was like an extreme case. Would that be cause to just like pull the plug pretty much, like if they weren't going to wake up?
I don't know if that would count as. I think that would be probably up to the next of kin regarding that person's treatment. Considering I'm able to make materials using energy, we don't really have much of a problem there, except for like really complex things. But really, it would probably be up to the next of kin regarding that. I think that's probably more of a hospital thing. Magos?
I would inform the kin and then they'll make the decision. But if they don't show up, the decision would have to fall back onto the staff.
Yeah, I think that would be up to fall onto Magos and whatever his decision as the head doctor of the. If they're at the Keepers of Solace Hospital, that is.
Have a comment on this?
Yeah.
What is the definition? Where is the point of life? Like, if someone's body's functioning but the brain is not, are they alive? Very heavy topic. Where is the context of life, especially when you have such a wide variety of species?
Yeah. I think regarding that would be, again, probably if they're on life support or something at the hospital, I think that would be up to Magos and the family members next of kin regarding that individual. But considering this is talking about execution, which is I think, different topic than someone who is under the care of hospital workers. Unless someone went in and pulled the plug on someone who without the consent of anyone, I think that could count as an execution, but that would be a different issue.
Does execution just mean like legal murder? You cannot commit murder with the intent of like inflicting authority or punishment upon someone? Is that how we're currently describing execution?
I think execution here would be equal with murder, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's completely interchangeable, but what we're saying here is that everyone has the right to live, and again, we don't want a Balios problem. We don't want Eclipse has been attacking people.
Yeah.
These
will all be subject to change and further clarification. So.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to section B. Sapient species have the right to bodily respect, including the right to informed consent to medical procedures. The cloning or non-consensual revival of a sapient individual is prohibited. If any of you have things to say about this, I'm glad to see Magos lining up here. And I think some of you had questions about right to life regarding medical treatment. This is where that would be discussed. And again, sapient species have the right to bodily respect, including the right to informed consent to medical procedures, and the cloning or non-consensual revival of a sapient individual is prohibited. Magos.
When someone comes into the hospital and they're like unconscious and bleeding out, I do have to take their blood and replicate it. There are so many species here that are the last of their kind that I cannot find like blood for them, so I have to replicate. Does that count under cloning?
That is a very good question. My personal thought on this is perhaps if someone doesn't want their blood replicated to, in life-saving situations, perhaps they could maybe fill out a form to, essentially like a do not resuscitate, but do not replicate, different kind of DNR. But I'd like to hear everyone else's thoughts.
If I understand correctly how most, or at least the human body works, if other life forms might be the same, to where they constantly produce their own blood, could possibly blood donations for future use not be a stable alternative to perhaps not replicating blood?
That might work out. But my main concern is, say, someone who didn't ever donate and is just a completely different species, just rolls in, impaled, missing an arm, and or some other grave injury, and is just losing a lot of blood. I would have to rely on the replication of the blood.
Question.
Yes.
To what extent is cloning? For a medical procedure, if you can clone just a limb, so then it is not a sentient thing, it is living tissue identical to this person, how far does this go?
I think
naturally creating sentient life would be a ethical problem, but in other situations where
I
it's
think
not
we're
sentient.
getting off of the actual section which says the cloning or non-consensual revival is prohibited. Regarding the right to informed consent to medical procedures, if someone is dying, I think Magos has the responsibility as a doctor to try his best to save someone, correct?
Yes.
And if, someone is not able to speak for themselves and have next of kin there to make medical decisions regarding that, as long as we respect that, I think that might be enough. Maybe we can make sure that people understand. We could have some forms to fill out if people don't want blood replicated or other life-saving procedures.
If I may, I feel like cloning would fall under like creating a whole different being, correct? Instead of just making a new supply of blood that someone might be losing.
Yes, cloning
Because
would not be replicating blood, as far as I
Yes.
know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So cloning is specifically the replication to where it becomes sentient.
Yeah, the
Not simply
cloning or non-consensual revival of a sapient individual is prohibited. I think regarding
Okay,
blood
so-
would be, informed consent to medical procedures.
So just replicating tissue would not count as cloning.
Correct.
Okay.
But if an individual dies and is brought back to life without their consent, then that would be against the law. Is that all?
Yep.
Rando.
So, about the revival. So, first off, out of character, we know about the ghosts, right? The multiple ghosts that seem to be going around, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Back in character. So, about the revival, does that imply that unless someone becomes a ghost, or then they can give consent to someone who can see ghosts, then they must have it written in their will? And does this responsibility get transferred to their next of kin, or no? Because I feel like that may be a bit more personal.
Regarding situations such as, Casimir and Belios, the Well, and in the we have to talk about what happened at the Monastery of Red Tears. That would be an instance of reviving someone for the sake without their consent. Casimir's corpse was reanimated. Loomis's was, a few others were as well. That would be considered non-consensual revival. Whereas Casimir, that's part of his species' life cycle, I believe. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
Cam.
Sort of, yeah. He only becomes a spirit if he can't reach his planet. Basically, his soul has nowhere to go because it kind of goes into a nexus.
Right.
So that would also mean revival is not inherent to the soul. So thus,
Of the species.
even if you, what I'm saying in that is, by law, even if you are not putting their soul back into their corporeal form and reviving them in that situation, animating the body is still considered illegal, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Other stuff's in it.
I think I've...
And
Yeah.
in cases such as Casimir, that's just part of the natural life cycle of his species. He has become a spirit simply because he can't go back to his planet. But in cases such as what happened at the Monastery of Red Tears, reanimating dead bodies would be considered against the law.
So does this responsibility fall to the next of kin? Or is there like one of the things you have to opt out of while you're alive? Like before you die, you have to write, my next of kin cannot revive me. Another DNR, do not revive.
That might be something to add. I will write that down.
All right.
We can add that as a clarification on this. All right. Out of character here, Alice, do you want me to put your character's name in front of your username?
Yes, please, if you could.
Is it Alex or is it something else?
It's Alice. It's just my
Alice.
character name. It's just my given name.
Oh, okay.
My wanted name. Very simple.
Let me. Gotta remember how to do this. Oh boy, hold on. Well, okay. Since your username has Alice in it, I'll change it later. Okay. Back into character here. Alice.
What is the definition of a sapient being, or how is it sapient species? What is the definition of that?
I think well, let me write it down so we remember, but we're going to have a definition of what counts as a sentient being. I will most likely be similar to what the Soul Pact Union's definition is, which would be, intelligent life. I think there are some specifics regarding that, but I can see if I can get that. I would have to ask. I don't know if Marcella gave you any, or if, I mean, I assume that some of you are from the, Soul Pact Union, but for anyone who's on the Rim, maybe they're, anyway, we'll get the definition of the Soul Pact Union on that.
Okay. That's like my only question. I just want to know what qualified as a sapient species, because there are so many different species on Solace.
Right.
So, thank you.
truffle.
So I would like to, I would just like to say really quick, I am perfectly aware that Mira made a legal decision before this document was written, but in the event of, what was her name? I believe it was Jasmine. In the event that someone like her comes along with parasites similar to hers, how exactly would that work?
Considering that what Jasmine was doing was reanimating life without their consent, I believe that that would be against the law on Solace.
I would have to recheck over maybe some kind of records. But didn't she say that the parasites were also sentient or something?
They, I believe they were, but they were, they didn't have their own will. It was confusing, and they ended up being a part of the Monastery of Red Tears incident. So,
What would happen if there was a parasite that came along that was sentient with its own will and took over something like that? Would that just have to be on a case by case basis?
now a parasite taking over another individual's body we should actually probably put that in the section of being not, because I feel like that would count as taking away someone's what's the word?
Free will?
Yeah, free will. It starts with an A.
Autonomy?
Autonomy, thank you.
I see.
Minnie.
Alright. So, from what I understand, if you resurrect a dead body but not the soul, it still counts as a revival, right?
Yes, I believe that would probably be under I mean, if you're, it would be kind of hard to see or tell like whether or not someone has been brought back to life rather than just reanimating a corpse like a puppet. But I believe both of those would fall under, you know, maybe not it would probably not fall under the cloning thing we're talking about here, but it would definitely be, I think, wrong. It would be something similar but different. So bringing someone back to life without their consent or knowledge would be probably with this section, but then maybe desecrating a corpse would be another section. I haven't looked ahead too far.
Okay, and when it comes to cloning, should cloning be allowed, like, overall? Because it's two of the exact same person.
Cloning
And
under the
they
law
end up
here would
having,
be disallowed.
yes. Would resurrecting someone into someone else's body be allowed if it was consenting on both ends?
I think that would fall under a, probably medical or other sort of procedure if they. I mean, the definition here says the cloning or non-consensual revival would probably that would mean if it was consensual, then it would be allowed. But out of character here. Is it Croy or Kron or neither that's here, CJ?
Croy.
Croy, okay. Back into character.
Yes,
like
medical and occult practices.
like Croy said,
They're the best.
you know, Echo is cloning people, and I think that's what's put a bad taste in our mouths, as well as it being, you know, morally
Dubious.
yes.
Ambiguous.
Clarifying questions, that's all.
Thank you. Light. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Oh, yeah, that's fine. As a note for anyone wanting to type in the future, try to have it typed before you come up to the stand. Light says, my question is, if someone were to commit such an act, what will happen to the resurrected person? That would probably be up to them. If it's just a, you know, reanimated corpse, they'd probably be put back where they belong. But if they are completely, if they're completely revived, that would probably be up to their decision what happens. Thank you. Lux. Considering this looks like it's going to take a long time, we might just get through Article 1 today, which is fine. We can extend the meetings to 4. Yeah, who's eating chips? No eating the courtroom. Okay, Lux, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to clarify a few things. So, basically, the reason it says sapient species instead of just an individual is to make it clear that we're not talking about animals. So, what Sussman did with our parasites was with reanimated animal corpse, not sentient corpse. It doesn't matter whether or not the body, the revived body is sapient. It's whether or not they're sapient before they die. So, and of course, we can change this. We could make it so no cloning is allowed, but the way it's written, it's specifically towards intelligent life.
I see. So, animals and pets would not be included in this.
Yes.
And I'll clarify that when we were voting for, right to life and everything, that with pets, that was just for Section A there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Mixie.
Okay, so how will we know that they consented to being revived if they're dead? Because I don't think that many dead people can necessarily talk.
This would have to be something planned before their death. Either a form filled out, something official through the court system.
Or ghosts.
Yes.
Get a massive tattoo on your
Random.
chest that just says, "Please revive."
Do revive.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay. And feel free to just
Wait,
leave the... you
I
remember?
remembered.
Feel free to leave the
Yes.
door open on the speaking place right there.
Quick question that beforehand and out of character. Are sensitive topics allowed to be discussed?
As long as it's not something that breaks the rules of the server.
I believe it should. I am not currently aware
You
whether
could just
or not it
you could
does.
just ask what you can tell me the topic and I'll say whether or not.
I was going to ask if, for someone who was like revived against at will, is assisted suicide an option?
I see.
Because that's a pretty heavy topic, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think considering I don't think we'll have a situation like that in someone's lore.
Okay.
We probably don't need to talk about that.
All right.
Yeah. Because normally, I mean, we do have a rule in the server against discussing like politics and everything, but obviously this is a very like, we're talking about like the law and government and stuff. But this is, I think of it like an educational thing. This is a good way for us to talk about these types of things in a environment that isn't like,
calm and respectful manner.
Exactly. We're all just discussing like what makes sense for the planet of Solace, which is a completely fictional place. Okay, moving on. Section C. No individual shall be subjected to undignified treatment or torture. If anyone has anything to discuss about this, go ahead and take a seat. Alice, you can just go straight to the stand if you'd like.
What is undignified torture? I feel like all torture is undignified.
It says undignified treatment.
Oh. Sincerest apologies.
No worries.
Oh. In that case, no more questions.
Okay. Truffle.
I rest my case.
Trouble?
Sorry. This is quite personal, but how exactly would we report something like that?
If someone has been subjected to undignified treatment or torture, you probably want to discuss or send in a report to the judicial branch of the Keepers of Solace. Considering you're in the Keepers of Solace, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah. Thank you.
Random.
Sorry, I keep talking much. Once again, I'm asking, in later dates, can undignified be more, like, just given a definition, a more specific definition, because that is kind of a cultural thing. Some cultures believe that cleaning would be undignified, or many a thing. but other cultures would not. So that just needs better definition. Sorry.
All right, I've written that down. Moving on, if there's nothing else to say. Section D. Every individual shall have the right to free movement and can choose to leave a faction or occupation at any time. If anyone has something to say about this, you can take a seat. Otherwise, Rando, you can just go straight to the stand.
What about contracts or obligations?
Can you be
How
more
would
specific?
that fit into this? If someone had a contract or obligation to fill out a certain task, would they be able to leave before completing that task? And if they did, would they be subject to penalty or would they be protected by the government?
That would probably be defined in the contract itself. So if someone was a part of a faction and was completing a contract that required to be for them to be a part of that faction and then decided to leave, that would probably be breach of contract and would follow what negative consequences would be a result of that.
Not this article, essentially.
Yeah, this is really just about people can leave factions when they need to. They're not stuck. Alice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not letting me sit again.
That's okay. It's a
so
bedrock
it says
problem.
It says that freedom to move, correct? Like
Yes.
freedom of movement and whatnot. What about the captive, quote unquote, in the basement? They're not free to move. They are stuck down there without a trial, with no
violence is going to
lawyer
get a
present,
trial.
So you're holding them here before the laws have been set. So technically they haven't broken any laws, technically. But you're holding them in prison as though they have broken laws. So I feel like this is an unjust captivity.
Regarding Section D, I think free movement here is probably in relation to like faction movement. But violence, violence has worked with Eclipse directly. Eclipse, who has been taking out people, attempting to kill leaders of factions and this planet. And
so
we're deciding
guilty before the trial.
Exactly.
He's admitted to it.
Holding people with so was there a lawyer present? Did he have representation?
I believe
Did they have
Feather is right. Feather, aren't you Violence's lawyer, or no? Is Minnie?
I am not a Violence's lawyer, but I am a family member.
Right. It was Minnie, right?
I have been employed to be Violence's lawyer, although I was not present at the time when Violence admitted to his supposed crimes.
Which means that they could have been coerced into saying those things against their will because no other person was present.
This discussion is not,
especially not his lawyer.
This discussion
is not applicable.
This discussion is not about whether or not violence should be held in the basement. This is about the fundamental rights of Solace. So we can, if you'd like to discuss that with the Keepers of Solace judicial branch later, we can. But this discussion is out of line here.
I was merely asking because of the freedom of movement in there. They are not free to move.
Considering there is no law regarding freedom of movement, you could also argue that it doesn't matter. With your logic.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. Section E. All individuals have the right to freedom of thought and expression. If anyone has anything to say about this, you can. First person out can take the stand. Otherwise, we can move on. Okay. Glad we all agree on that one. This is section F. Every individual shall have access to a fair and impartial treatment of their affairs. If anyone has thoughts on this, first one out can take the stand. Oh, can we ignore section G? Yes, sorry.
Yeah, fair and impartial treatment of their affairs. What if there is no qualified person to give them a fair and impartial treatment of their affairs? How would the government handle that, or is that just not applicable to the current situation?
Maybe a question for Lux.
We can cover that in Article 6. Article 6 is basically the court, so all the laws connected to the court belongs down there, and this discuss the rights.
Alright.
Alright, considering there's no one else sitting, we can move on. You said we should skip Article G and that will be moved to Article 6. Or, I mean, Section G should be moved to Article 6. Yes, I agree. Let me put that down. Section G. Article A. Or Article 1, moved to 6. Section H. Any individual outside of the control of factions shall have the same entitlement to protection within the factions as a faction member. I'll read it again. Any individual outside of the control of factions shall have the same entitlement to protection within factions as a faction member.
I feel like this should be covered because I don't want someone else to try and use it as a loophole. Naturally, the entitlement of protections is what is being. They are entitled to the same protections provided by Solace rather than by the actual factions. Because, of course, if someone is a part of a militaristic faction, they're going to have more protection than someone who's not. I feel like I don't want someone to try and use that as a loophole, because that should be just common sense.
So you're saying someone who is under protection. Well, can you rephrase?
I am saying that I believe the law should state that the entitlement of protection that is being given to these people is only the protection provided by Solace government, such as the protection Solace government is being applied equally to everyone, not
I see.
just entitlement of protection, because if someone is a part of a faction that provides extra protection, a person who is not a part of that faction is not entitled to what that faction is giving. I know this is common sense. I believe it should be written so that no one else tries to use that as a loophole.
I see. So, someone it should be about Solace's overall government. So, Keepers of Solace is essentially the, it's with the judicial branch is like going to set the standard.
I forgot the name, so I just referred to it as the Solace government.
Oh yeah, the Keepers of Solace are essentially. I try again to stay out of the business of factions, keep their own stuff separate. But considering what's happened this era, the Keepers of Solace is going to become more of an official stance of the entirety of Solace's planet. So yes, I see what you mean. Have this specifically state that it is, the Keepers of Solace protection, not that every faction is has to provide protection for individuals that are visiting that are not part of their faction, correct?
Yes, equality, not equity.
Okay, I will write that down. Anyone else have thoughts on that? Okay, give me a second here. So to clarify, the Keepers of Solace will provide protections to all members of Solace who are not a part of a faction. Moving on to the last section of Article 1. I. The dead shall be treated respectfully, and their grave sites, if any, must be properly maintained. If any of you have thoughts on this, Brando, you can go straight to stand.
How will this apply to dead criminals and or terrorists who have enacted a lot of violence? Like, will they just not be given a good grave? Will they still be given a regular grave? But how will they be treated if they have committed atrocities and or murder?
That might be a question for Lux. How, well, I mean, considering that the Keepers of Solace don't execute people for their crimes, if they die while in prison, I'm not sure what we do. Do we have a grave site for?
I feel like no matter the what they did in their life, they should still be treated with some ounce of respect,
I
even
agree.
if they did commit horrible things.
Well,
they should still be given a somewhat reasonable grave. They shouldn't just be plopped into the ground with no marker or just like a little gravestone, unless that's what they want and that's what everyone else is getting. It should be fair and equal.
I agree to an extent, but on one hand, if someone killed a planet's worth of people, I'm not entirely sure they are deserving of respect.
That would be
like on
an
one
individual
hand,
opinion
entitlement
versus...
to life. Yeah,
but that
on one hand, entitlement to life. On the other hand,
at the end of the day, they should still be treated with some ounce of respect.
And
no
Rando,
what they've done.
Who would make the decision of whether or not someone deserves a proper gravesite or not? That's why, that's why we want to treat every individual with the same respect. Obviously, if an individual passes away and has family members that would like to, have their own special burial site and everything, that's one thing. But when it comes to maybe individuals who die either in the prisons here or through other means that are, criminals, such as Okel, for example, we would still, I think the Keepers of Solace would handle a gravesite, if not the faction that member belonged to.
So, like if Eclipse died, then just Keepers of Solace would put them in a grave somewhere.
Most likely. Again, we're respecting the individual as, it's respect of the body, not necessarily respect of what they did during their life. Minnie.
All right, so since it's a respect of the body, if I don't know how to say this without sounding slightly crude. I've already heard talks of cannibalism going on, and how it most likely shouldn't be a thing, but some races may or may not require it. If the person has died, was consenting, would that be okay?
I think that would probably be up to Article 2 with factions, of whether or not that's a criminal offense. Lux?
Well, since this is still in Article 1, technically global law would go over faction law. So even if there was a closer that eats their death, it would still be considered unrespectful.
That is why I said if it's consenting from the dead person. That's why we need to.
The issue with that is, the dead may consent before they died, but they're not able to ever take back that consent after they die.
So what if you can talk to their ghost?
That's
The responsibilities and rights of the dead gets way more
Say the
complicated
same
with
thing
ghosts.
about the do not resuscitate orders, though, because if they make a do not resuscitate while they are alive, but like as they're dying they want to be resuscitated, can they change that, or how does that work? Because I feel like that would fall under the same kind of.
That
Or
would
the
be a
do not
question for
revive.
Magos. I don't know much about
Yeah.
medical law.
I was just asking because you said that they made that choice in life and they can't take that back. They can. That's the same philosophy when it comes to the do not revives.
Yeah.
So how would that work?
I think medical law and cannibalism, strangely enough, have come into contact in the Keepers of Solace before. Like Zinnia said, doctors act with their assumption that the patient wants what's best for them. Medical stuff is probably different from someone. I don't know. Cannibalism might be something that we need to discuss in another time.
Have a meeting just solely dedicated to cannibalism.
Yeah,
I would love that. I would have so much fun with that.
It's not the Amnesia SMP anymore, it's the Cannibalism SMP. Let's go.
Dementia SMP.
Yeah, I think we could probably discuss. We can hold a vote if we'd like to hold a vote on whether or not cannibalism, quote unquote, consensual cannibalism is a thing we would like. We can go through what Light has to say as well, and then take a vote. Is that everything, Minnie?
I'd say that's everything.
Okay, we will take a vote. Light.
Oh, on the topic of respecting their, the person's gravesite and all, who would maintain that gravesite? Because currently there's no branch on the Keepers of Solace that has that responsibility.
Most likely the Parks and Recreation Department would handle. I can talk to Waters. We can get perhaps a graveyard cemetery set up, and that would be that branch's responsibility to maintain that one. If it's on another faction's land, it would be up to them to keep it maintained.
I'd like to say that I would be willing to help with that.
Yeah, you can talk to Waters.
Yeah, but before I came to this planet, I was sort of a gravekeeper for spirits and all. I'm willing to help out where I can in that regard.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, Waters, Light, Alice can all work together on creating that. I would appreciate that. Give me a second. I'm seeing if there's a good spot around here. There is actually some space behind the judicial building that we could use. There's also some by the water in the back. Okay. Well, We are going to take a vote on the quote-unquote consensual cannibalism. All in favor of it being legal. I haven't said the entire thing yet. All in favor.
This is hilarious.
All in favor of it being legal for someone to create a form through the judicial branch or other official means that they would allow their body to be cannibalized through either some ritual or other means after their death, say aye. All in out of favor, say nay. It looks like a close vote again.
I think cannibalism wins.
I think it... Wait, I need to count this. It might be a 50-50. By one vote, it is approved.
Let's go.
I'm not sure I agree with that. We may have to discuss this further, but for now, that is
Genuinely did not expect cannibalism to be approved.
we may have to have a larger vote, but this is considering this is a very small section of Solace's population. I'm sure if Marcelo was here, he would be, he would be losing his mind. Okay. Moving on to Article 2, which is regarding factions. There are sections A through F here. Section A, global law shall respect the equality of each faction, remaining inclusive of self-government. If anyone has thoughts on this, feel free to speak. Okay, it looks like we all agree on that. We will move on. Section B, factions shall pursue sincere cooperation and mutual respect. If anyone has thoughts on this, feel free to speak. Alice, you can go straight to the stand.
Sincere cooperation. That means that they like each other, right? Or just that they get along? Like that they just don't kill each other?
In this
what counts
case,
as sincere cooperation?
Yes, in this case, I believe it means that we're not looking for wars here.
Okay.
Lux, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it just means that you don't have to agree with everything that other factions do, but we're all here to work together to rebuild after the Great Anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, assuming cost.
All right.
Huh?
Me.
So would that mean that the HOE doesn't fall under being a faction anymore because they don't actively want to cooperate with any other faction?
Factions. So if a faction does not follow the law, that does not mean that they are not considered a faction anymore. It's simply that, they're disregarding the faction laws set in place. The HOE has a particular issue with the Keepers of Solace. So that would probably be settled between us. Okal herself is, after these laws are set in stone, will definitely be breaking a lot of laws. So that's an individual thing, but the HOE is not cooperative.
I have an objection towards that. Are you meaning that once the laws are set in place, Oka will be charged with them?
We can discuss, like, again, this is not discussion of, like, you know, whether or not someone is guilty of crimes, but
No, not that. I'm meaning, like, they committed crimes, quote unquote, before laws were set in place about those crimes. So you will charge them for things that they didn't know were illegal, quote unquote?
Solace did actually have another discussion in the previous era, and set some laws into place. I believe Oakle has broken some of those, but this is kind of a refresh of making new laws.
Okay.
Oakle, before we had laws set in place like this, it was kind of a I don't know what the term is, but
A Mad Max world.
a what?
A Mad Max world. Just chaos. Like,
no, I mean, I was
order.
talking about the judicial branch of Solace was mainly just to,
Oh.
you know, kind of determine, like, through the, you know, it was more of an open court kind of thing. I think we're trying to make things a little bit more civilized. But considering Oakle has, you know, executed someone, I think we can all agree that's wrong. She's put people in danger.
Well, who was it that got executed? Refresh me.
Balios.
That's excusable.
Well, like I said, this is not a time to discuss whether or not someone is guilty of their crimes. This is not a court case. Minnie, did you have anything else to add?
No, I did not.
Okay. Section C. Factions shall take appropriate measures to ensure that global law is followed and refrain from any actions that are detrimental to the factions as a whole. If anyone has thoughts on this, go ahead and first one out can take the stand. Okay. Seems we're in agreement with that one. I'm glad that we seem to agree on faction laws. Section D. True. Just because the laws weren't written doesn't mean it was lawless. I think that there should be consequences for people's actions. We're just trying to make it more official. Section D. Factions shall assist in the investigation and criminal proceedings of their members. If anyone has thoughts on this, feel free. Section E. Global law shall be used only in cases where the faction cannot appropriately govern on its own. How will we deal with a faction being biased? What do you mean by biased? Would you like to come take the stand and explain if you'd like?
Thank you. Court check. It's not a...
Oh. That's not random?
See?
Oh, I'm not currently... Oh, I see. The investigation if a faction is being biased. I guess I just don't know what you mean by biased. Like, biased towards their members? Like... If they're not being cooperative with you know, assisting investigations, allowing criminal proceedings, all of that, that would be against the law. Faction being biased towards a member in the investigation. Most likely, if, you know, there's a criminal proceedings, a court case going on with, like, global law, it wouldn't just be the faction members that would be asked about that individual. It would be, you know, a jury. Yeah, it wouldn't be just made up of the members of the faction. I wouldn't have You know what? I won't say that. There are certain people that I would not have in a court case with Okul, for example. But again, I don't get to choose the jury. The jury is randomly selected, I believe. Okay, and finally, Section F of Article 2. Factionless parties shall respect global law and shall not be treated differently from faction members. Any final thoughts on this? Okay. Well, thank you all for being a part of this, honestly, a monumental moment in Solace's history. We're finally having some solid laws put in place that will hopefully protect everyone. I know people have been asking for more protection, and now we're getting it. I'm listening. If anyone has any final thoughts about all of this, how it went, how we could make it better, you can let me know.
I have a final question, sort of relating to the faction laws. I believe. May I come up to speak?
Of course.
So, I know I was a part of the HOE, and I left. Of course, will I be charged at all for those crimes?
No. If you were a part of a faction and decided to leave, I mean, I think it was Marcelo that said that, you know, if people left the HOE, they would not be considered a part of them anymore and would not be charged. The HOE made a lot of promises that they did not keep.
Right. It's just been a thought I've had for the whole meeting. I think I will excuse myself from the court now.
Right. Well, again, thank you all for being a part of this, and it will be held at the same time next week. Who wants to go to the bar?
Woo, drinking.
A non-alcoholic child.
I do get a
Sunny will
question,
not be
Freya.
having any
Why you
alcohol.
weren't in the judges' stand when making the proclamations of law, and just letting everyone else take up the witness stand?
Well, this was not like an official, like, you know, court case or anything. I just figured whatever was the best to, you know, I didn't want to make people walk all the way around to like stand up on stuff. We could have had it in the community center, but decided on the.
But I'll say, do
judicial
you guys want
branch.
to fly there instead of walk? I got wings.
I can carry people on my shoulders.
Yes, another one, please.
You road trip. I can do the same as well, I think. Hold up.
Cam, would you like to ride on my shoulders?
This is
I promise it's.
incredibly unsafe.
I'm strong. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are.
Don't tell Marcel.
You're gonna
Oh, you got
say
on.
Oh, we left Crush.
Oh, we left
Roy.
Croy.
Wrong person. No,
Wait, where are you guys
that's
at?
TJ. Wrong person.
Give me to me, Shuffle. Come at me.
TJ.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, by the way, Waters, are you there? Are you still there, Waters? I want to ask you a question.
Waters is still here.
Sunny,
Back
please
in the
hold
corner on
on.
the staircase. I love it.
ask Waters.
Yes.
Waters, is it okay if can I pay you to make me a pond? in
Oh
my
god,
basement?
okay. Sorry. I guess I work 41 hours next week, so I don't have much
Oh,
time to do anything.
Does anybody else know how to make a pond?
I can make a pond with the power of Freya.
It's gonna be a basement pond.
You just tell me where it is. I can use accent.
No, why is there so many?
It was exploding. I heard someone
Oh my gosh.
exploding.
Oh no!
I feel bad for the people on top. Oh my god!
Why do you sound like
Run faster. Fly
who sounds like
Fly
a
faster?
insect?
Why
But
would
Did someone say faster?
Fly faster.
Lexi is bullied.
Oh, my archery went up to 250 thanks to those phantoms.
Just keep going. No, keep going forward.
Yeah, it's not here. It's
Right there. Right.
It's
there
right
we
here.
go. Yep. There you go. No, wrong. Behind you.
I don't know what. I don't know where I'm going.
Okay,
Turn around.
thanks.
Go back up. Turn around.
Freya.
Turn around. Go up. Go up. Yep. Another one. Another one. Yep. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Yay.
Now we hit them.
Perfect. I know ready. By the way, guys, this is the Five Nights at Freddy's gang. Five Nights at Wow, Random's already passed out again.
Play.
Oh,
Yep. This is
Bro didn't even
Five
touch a
Nights at
drink,
Horses.
just
Beautiful.
Give me something good.
What type of good?
yep, something good.
I feel like we lost a bunch of people. Should I like start TPA here? A bunch of people.
I are here. Ooh, great.
Okay, who else wants a drink? This is non-alcoholic. Oh, my bad. Yeah, there's no alcohol in here. Because I know
Can I get
some
the
of y'all.
Got any
beer?
Jameson?
We're gonna need to keep a book of ages
Sorry, I
for
did not
people,
mean to
so
say
we know if they can take a drink or not.
Just get the child-free beer.
Hey, let me get on stage.
Sonny, what did you just drink?
Get on stage.
It's non-alcoholic. You're good.
Good.
It was the child-free beer.
Alcohol.
More.
There were no kids in there.
Alcohol.
Truffle, why are you on the
What?
stage?
Oh, by the way,
Tell us about-
sometimes we do karaoke night.